Welcome to Man Cave Media. Today we are looking at what I consider to be a luxury item. Something that I never thought I would own because the good ones are usually really expensive. And I am talking about a watch winder. Longtime subscribers of my channel, you see me do some reviews on watches. I consider myself like an entry-level or low-level watch enthusiast. I don't tend to spend a ton of money on them when I do buy a new watch. I am an occasion watch buyer or a milestone watch buyer. Like whenever something significant happens in my life, I tend to buy a new watch that will remind me of that moment in time. I'm that kind of watch person. So even though I don't usually spend a ton of money on watches, I do have a few nicer ones in my collection, and they are automatics. And I consider this to be a first world problem where whenever I want to wear, one of my automatic watches, I got to move it around a little bit, get it going, and then set the time and the date before I put it on. It's really not that big a deal, but yes, it would be nice to have a winder so that when I wanted to wear one of my automatics, I can just grab it, put it on, and go, just like one of my quartz watches. So that being said, I stumbled upon this unit on Aliexpress, and it is very affordable. I'll put what I paid in the comments section down below, but it was a very affordable watch winder. It was somewhere around $40. I don't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head. I'll put it in the description. Sorry, not the comments. But it had a lot of really good reviews, and so I decided, what the heck, I'll give it a try, and I'll live like you wealthy folk with a watch winder. But that being said, let's go ahead and get it out of the box and check it out. It was a really nice design, at least the pictures anyway. So I'm excited for that. Man, I can't cut straight today. So I'm definitely excited for that. And if this turns out to be, a good deal, if it works really good, I will buy a second one, because I actually have 4 watches total in my collection that are automatics. So this is a double watch winder. It will do 2 watches at once. So like I said, if this works out and turns out to be good, I will have to buy a second one, but I'm not opposed to that if it works. So let's see, they give us a USB A to C cable. That thing that I pulled out and just discarded without telling you, it looks like the instruction manual, user's manual. It is in English and Chinese. And then the watch winder itself, which is nothing else in the box. Get it out of the way. I've got this guy mummified in some plastic here. Interesting. Why didn't they just use tape? Can't say I've ever seen anything like that before. That was weird. But there's the watch winder itself. Like I said, it's a really interesting design. Kind of cool looking. Caught my eye. Get it out of all the plastic here. This is some kind of shrink wrap. Oh. I'm going to need some scissors. Stand by. I don't want to go after this guy with my blade because I don't want to damage anything. It's got a kind of a soft rubbery finish I can feel. It's pretty nice. All right, so there we go. Give you guys a good look at this. It's got a really nice finish on it. The green, there are different colors. I believe there were black, silver, and green. But the finish on it's like a soft, rubbery finish. It's pretty nice. And it's got like the space helmet design going on. It kind of lifts up. There's where you put your watches. One of the biggest complaints in the review section, there weren't very many complaints, For the most part, people seem to really like this thing. But one of the complaints was it was too small for their watches. I have big wrists. I buy big watches. This is one of the larger watches I own. This is a Spinnaker Picard, and it's got that old school kind of dive watch dome going on. So this is one of the larger watches that I own. So I'm going to put this guy in here, and then I have just to be funny, because I got this on Aliexpress, I have my Aliexpress dive watch. It is a steel dive, which these are incredibly good watches for very little money. If you're not aware of a steel dive, I'll leave a link in the description down below where the seller that I got this guy from, but they use Seiko movements in their watches, and they have really good reviews, and they are really nice quality watches for very little money that you get on AliExpress. I don't recommend going directly. Steel Dive does have their own storefront online. Don't go directly through them. They mark up the price. It's much better to go through a seller on AliExpress. But anyway, that being said, I'm going to pop out the foams here. And let's get some watches in here. Now this one looks like it's going to fit just fine. The Steel Dive anyway. Steel Dive is a little bit on the large side, but not too big. It's 44 millimeters. So that is on the larger side, I guess, for most people. Like I said, I have large wrists, so I don't think it's that big. But you normies out there with your small wrists, you might think that 43 or 44 is big. So that fits on there quite nicely. Get it back in. It does not. So the first issue, it does not like my NATO strap. Trying to get the foam back in. But after a little negotiation, it does go in. But just keep that in mind. Did not like my NATO strap. So if you have watches with a NATO strap, you might run into an issue. Let's see how the Picard fits on here. Again, it looks like it's going to fit just fine. The biggest thing with the Spinnaker Picard is the height of it. It's got that old school dive dome. So let's see if the top will close with both of these guys in here. And it hits it a little bit. Let's see. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it to go in a little bit more. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I had to shove that down there a little bit because it was not happy. So let's provide. So let's get it onto some power here really quick. Let's see how she goes. It is USB-C. Thank you. I hate when things are not USB-C anymore. Yeah, who needs instructions? Let's push buttons. Ooh. Lights up. So the first button right here was a light. Let's see. Hey. There we go. It's winding. It is very quiet. That was one of the most positive comments. Put the mic right down next to it. You can hear. This thing is whisper quiet. I will have no problem at all having this in my bedroom. I mean, it's doing the watch winding things, right? Really quiet. I like that it's got a light and you can turn the light off. That's really cool. Really, really cool. I like this. So one thing oh, it's got different modes. You know what? Let's read the book. So ambient light, it will auto stop when the lid is opened. Let's test that theory, shall we? So right now it's going. Hey, auto stop, and the light came on. That's cool. So it'll auto stop when the lid is open. Power on is one press. For mode switching, if you press briefly, it will go from mode 1 to mode 2. The ambient light will flash twice. Mode 1 is rotate clockwise for 5 minutes, and then pause for 40 minutes. And then it will rotate counterclockwise for 5 minutes, and then pause for 40 minutes. Mode 2, it rotates clockwise for 2 minutes, pause for 6 minutes, and then rotate counterclockwise for 2 minutes, and then pause for 6 minutes in a cycle. So it has 2 modes. You rapidly press the button one time to change the mode. And when you shut the lid, it automatically just starts up again, which is really cool. I really dig this thing. It's got a nice little retro look to it. Space helmety. And I mean, if you had like a 50 mil watch that's automatic that you're trying to shove in this thing, you're probably going to have some issues. The edge of my spinnaker was tapping the inside of the glass, so that was a little bit of a struggle. I got it to go in there. I had to press pretty hard on the foam to get it in there, but it did. So that's just a word of warning. Some people did complain about that in the comments, that they had a larger watch that just wouldn't fit. So, but my watches fit just fine. If you have a lot of 40, 44, 45 mil watches or smaller, you should be just fine. Pretty common size for dive watches is like 40 to 42 millimeters. So this should work just fine for you. I like it. I will chime back in. I'll probably do a short or something like that in a week or so, just to follow up to let you guys know how it's going. But so far, yeah, I really like this thing. I dig it. All right, that's all I have for this one. Thank you again for stopping by. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and help feed that algorithm. I hope you have a great afternoon, and like always, thank you for watching.